Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working on Pojedynek Kobiet. Pojedynek Kobiet, Krew na Sukience. Yes, if I can pronounce the words correctly. Yeah, and this is going to be the final day of it. This is going to be the final day, because there isn't actually that much to do anymore. Well, yeah, like, I could have probably finished this up on Wednesday, but I wanted something to do on Friday. So, yeah, that's why. So, generally speaking, what we need to do today, very simply, is we're going to be adding things. We're going to be adding more things. Because adding things is interesting. It is fun to add things. So, generally speaking, what do we need to add? Well, we're going to be adding some more weapon-specific arts. Weapon-specific arts, stance arts. I think stance arts would do well. Defensive arts. And wound arts. Pretty much, the more wounded you get, or when you're not wounded, you're going to get a bonus. And then we're going to be adding some more ethnic. We're going to be adding the Mayor, pretty much are going to be Hungarians. We're going to do the Latvians, the Italians. And then kind of doing the Ruth, like, I don't really know what to call them. We could probably call them the Ruthians. The Ruthians, which are going to be the Ukrainians. Kind of Ukrainians, but also kind of not Ukrainians. They're kind of also the Romanians at the same time. The Austro-Hungarian Empire had a lot of people in it. And then I'm probably going to throw in someone like the Romani. I don't know what I want to call them. Let's do alternate names for gypsies. Actually, for the Romani. There we go. Let's learn. Names of the Romani people. Oh goodness. Let's see. German speaking, the Sinti, the Manouche, Spain, Wales, Kelokel. Subgroups, Kaladesh, or the Magyar, Carpathian. I can probably don't even have to call them Carpathian. I could probably call them something a little bit more strange. Let's see, what do we want to give these? We can give them the Sinti. Actually, we can call them actually Sinti Dresh, which are going to be the Romani people. Those are what we're going to be really adding. If you have literally anyone else, feel free to tell me about it. Actually, we can add, let's see. Bedouin. We do Bedouin name. Say Bedouin. Alternate name. What's a good Bedouin Marseille? Bedouin. Let's see if we can find a good Bedouin name. We'll add those. Those will be our next Uruk one, actually. Just to piss literally everybody off, because it'll be funnier that way. Let's see. If we want, we can actually keep the entire name. The Badawi. Yeah, we'll call it the Badawi. Which are going to be effectively Arabic. There we go. We'll throw in the whole mess, why don't we? Let's just add in everybody, because I find that interesting. So, let's do... What else needs to be added? So we got a bunch of ethnic groups. We've got a few specific ones. Is there anything else that really needs to be added? Actually, we can do personality arts, pretty much with the idea being like, I personally hate you, or like, I personally really like you, so I'm going to be able to duel better because of that, with the intent of, I don't want to actually hurt you. Legal duels, adrenaline, actually no, 2 weapon style. I'm going to put 2 weapons on there. 2 weapon styles. Let's see, we got all this. Okay, the stance specific arts, style specific arts. That'll go there. Actually, we can probably put, yeah, we have defense arts. Alright, so these are the arts we're pretty much going to be adding in today. Not many here, but we can actually... Oh, do we actually add in Ruskians? I don't think we should add in Ruskians, because they probably wouldn't be allowed because they're fucking Ruskian and you're already at war with them. Yes, that works. Because again, we can casually ignore our problems and simply just be racist. It's okay. Racism, remember kids, racism is fine as long as it serves the game. Even though we have the fucking orc argument popping up again. God, I hate the orc argument. Every fucking few months, the orc argument will arise. You wanna know what the orc argument is? Are orcs always bad people? No, they aren't always bad people. However, you should also respect people who want to make them always bad. It's not a complicated thing, but people always want to make it really complicated. And I always find that strange. Always find it strange. So let's see, what do we want to call some of these? Well, these are what most of these are going to be. So our weapon specific arts. So let's just go through what do we have so far. Well, we have adapted, which is pretty much short style. We'll do short style, which is court life. We'll do court life, short style, one-handed blades. Esoteric, which is strange things, and it is combat tricks. Noblewoman, which is conversation slash, whoop, didn't mean to hit that button. Whoop. Which is conversation slash conversational techniques. And then we have self-taught, which is winging it, and pretty much bonus to anything once. Kind of like, this is one of the gimmick ones, you could say. And then the Solden Matin, which is rough and ready, and grappling. So, this is where things started getting a little bit strange. So, what we need to do is we want to do, we'll just give it, I don't know the names yet, but we want to, what would be some good names? Because, like, weapon-specific wise, we can do great swords. That's going to be a big thing. We can do, let's see, we can do great swords, we can do maces, we can do, actually, let's see. So these are just going to be the weapon specific. Like, these are very specific to certain weapons. And let's see, we can do, actually, we can do something like the Vasta. We can do like we can do training weapons. That would be a good one. So it's kind of like the idea of like actual weapons you're not very good at, but the fact that you're pretty good with training weapons. And i.e. you can teach people really well. We can do we'll do exotic weapons. I'll do foreign weapons. It's kind of along the idea that it's like that. Actually, we can do fisticut. We can do pugilism. Pugilism would be a start, would be a good one, and obviously we need two-handed weapons right there. Actually, not two-handed. It would be dual wielding. Actually, we can probably put in. Yeah, no, we'll. Okay, so this is where things get a little bit complicated. Otherwise known as I get to add in things. So we get to go here and debate on how we're going to write some of these in. So great swords, we probably want to do it with rural. All right, this is gonna be the silly one. Rural. The rural art. Rural arts are the country. Let's see. The countryside. The countryside is a land apart from the court. Land apart from the court. While pleasant castles. All pleasant castles and various estates. States are the norm. The rough and tumble. The rough nature of the earth is what the Kobiet knows. The rural art is an art of the earth. Stable, strong, unwavering, and unnaturally tough. So we do in court. Rural arts allow for the Kobiet. For the Kobiet. Oh, goodness gracious me. Getting yawny all of a sudden. Yawny. The rural arts allow the Kobiet to tap into her rustic knowledge and down to earth nature. While she may be popular among the lower classes, she is also incredibly strong. She's also incredibly tough. Actually, no, we'll do incredibly fit. So kind of along the idea of being like, you are someone built. If you're from the countryside, you are a built bitch. Like people aren't gonna fuck with you. You're just scary to look at. Countryside is yeah. Breeds the strong and culls the weak. Well, the Kobiet wasn't expected to tend the farm or carry that much. There was a silent desire for her to build her up her bodily strength. Oh God. Got something right in the back of my throat. It's driving me nuts. There was a silent desire for her to build up her bodily strength. They add their rank when they use a great weapon, when they use a two-handed weapon. There we go. So kind of along the idea that the rural people are really strong and they don't got to think about that too much. And what we will do is, what would be a actually Austrian. Let's see. Tell me more about the Commonwealth Police. Not the Australian. Federal Police. Austrian Police. Well, Federal Police. So, the Polizei. Federal Police. Austrian Federal Police. It would be World War I, Austria. I think I know what we want to call these. We will call these the Poliza. Is that the correct term? Polizei. Polizei. German. It's German. No, it's the Hun. Polizei. The Kobiet was born into a, actually, I wonder if there's a better word for God. Bewachten. The Kobiet was born into a family of righteousness and honor. Those who are more, actually, is born into is trained in the art of the watchman. Someone who is, whether it was for urbanite explorations or the honorable families, or the honorable art of, or the honorable and their rivals. Bewachten is an art of seeing and punishing those who would step out of line. Notably those who stand against the Kobiet. In court, the Bewachten, Beknopen arts are for the, how do I want to word this, the even-eyed, close-eyed, watchful. Okay. The Bewachten arts are for the watchful and observant, slowly piecing together puzzles and problems that come to them. Investigations, whether these are investigations, interrogations, or simply snooping, is anyone's guess. That in duels, The Vakten need their quarry alive. Need their quarry alive. And as such, the weighted gavel of justice is often employed to subdue their targets rather than the precise blade. They add their rank when using a blunt only weapon. So the idea behind the Bivaktan is that they're pretty much the blunt people. They're going to beat you. They're going to beat you over the head using the power of literally a blunt stick. Let's add you. There we go. We want to add in duels. Yeah. Which brings me to adding in the rural. So we need to add in, put you down here, take the noblewoman, Control-C, Control-V, put you right here, and then we add the rural art. In case you're wondering why I'm not just pasting it in there and fixing it, just because I already have some of the things set up and I don't want it to break horribly, is knowing my luck, it's going to shatter into 1,000 goddamn pieces. So, that. Case in point. Yes, is rural literally the, too cute for me tomboy waifu who wants just to beat my ass? Yeah. Well, how can you tell? Especially when you have already had the Solden Makten, who pretty much is doing her own thing. So we cut these two. So we already have maces, training weapons. We can do. Actually, if we want to make this specific. I don't like that word very much. How does it sound in German? Lehrer. Luxembourgish. You know what? Let's just call it teacher, alright? We'll just call it the teacher. Teacher. Learning is a difficult task. Learning the art of the blade is an even more complicated one. If I can fucking spell, is an even more complicated one. The teacher art is a dedicated style of understanding of teaching others in the most efficient, brutal, and effective ways possible. If there are bruises, they are they are a learning experience. So in court, the teacher art is all about informing others and being a learned member of the court. Well, not as talkative. Let's see, not as talkative as others. The teacher is more than willing to share, actually to share information they know, and even more willing to gain new information, to learn new paths, even more willing to learn new things, we'll call it skills. In duels, teacher art is a direct one. The need to inform the youth, inform others, is a tried and true method. One that requires time, effort, and patience. The teacher art adds their rank. Let's see, adds their rank to when using a bottom. Is that what they're called? Fuck. What did I end up calling them? Ow! Ooh, ooh. 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 Vasta. Let's see, the teacher art adds their rank when using a Vasta sword. Or with a Vasta sword, or during a training duel. The idea here being that a teacher is going to be able to actually use it for when they're using training weapons, as well as anytime during a training duel. Training duels are supposed to be very simple and very easy and to the point. Not really supposed to like injure anybody, but like, I want to teach you something. I want you to learn something from me, and I'm going to learn something from you. This is a safe way to actually get experience points. That's one of the big things. Like, you're not going to die in a training duel, and everyone kind of knows that. You're not going to die. Be exciting. Be a little bit weird. Push yourself to the limit, and they're going to get a bonus doing it. Like, well, that's not very useful. It's not supposed to be useful. It's supposed to be thematic. So, let's do training weapons, and then we can do award. Many people, ow. Let's see. Many come to the court of the Austrasan to learn the arts and ply their... Actually, many come to the court of the Austrasan Emperor. Some out of need, some out of desire, others out of obligation. The ward is a mixture of all three. Being a foreigner, the ward has a unnatural, the ward art. Let's see, being a foreigner, the ward art is all about understanding foreign cultures, even if they may not be. The ward is a mixture of all three. Being a foreigner, the ward art is all about understanding foreign cultures and their weapons. In court, ward art is tied to a particular ethnic group of some kind, allowing them to interact with them, as if they were one of their own. As if they're one of their own, as well as being part of their parent culture. They will speak the language. They will speak the language. Understand the nature of their struggles, and perhaps even understand why, and even actually perhaps even know in duels, the word art is simple. You've the Kobiet has mastered a foreign technique of battle, taking one of the various cultures she has internalized. She is able to add her rank to all. Let's see. She's able to add her rank to. When using her transplant cultures weapons. So the idea of the ward is more along the lines saying like, oh, I'm a Ruskian ward. I understand how to speak Russian. I understand how to speak Ruskian, I should say. And because of that, like, I can use the Ruskian pick and the Ruskian skull caver incredibly well. But if you say, oh, I'm Latium, you can use the rapier and the parry blade easy. That's kind of the entire idea. You're taking another culture and adding it onto something else. Because you are one thing, but you have learned the arts of another. Which you even can say, like, hey, if you're a Carlander, you can say, hey, I can speak German flawlessly. I can speak Saxor perfectly. I can kind of add both of them together. Unfortunately for everybody involved. So what else do we need? We need... Now, there's a way of writing this that could be very mean, or we can do it in a little bit more tactile manner. No, I'm going to do it the simple way. Bitch. The Kobiet is a brutal and efficient person. Actually, no. Rache. Rachezuchar. Literally revengeance. Rachezuchar. People are flawed. People are flawed. In the court of the Empire, in the court of the Ostrazans, in the court of the Ostrazan people, of the Ostrazan monarchy, there is a little, goddamn, I hate these fucking so fucking much. I'm so happy I'm moving. In the court of the Austrasian monarchy, this is no different. Let's see. Those who find themselves in a with nothing to lose with nothing to lose find themselves on a particular path to right a supposed wrong, often in the most violent ways possible. And then we do in court. The art is based entirely around a chip on the shoulder. What I should say is imagine, even if it's imagined. The Russian Hausa art is based entirely on the chip on the shoulder. The Kobiet is a one-woman temper tantrum. Is a one-woman machine that is fully able and willing to enact violence upon those who displease her. Others may call her a bitch or a monster. While some secretly whisper that she's the only honest one. Pretty much, you're going to get a bonus when you flip your shit and just punch someone. Just punch a bitch. Just deck them. What are they going to do? Duel you? Yeah, I can duel too. Focuses on getting close and delivering a meaty blow straight to the face. Actually, when using a straight to the face, their direct nature being their greatest asset. The that's how do you pronounce it again? Rakazuhar. Yeah, the Rakazuhar may add their rank when using their fist or any other unarmed attack. So yeah, no, if you want to walk up to someone, you got a sword in one hand being like, yeah, let's go, and you just literally step right into their grill and then deck them in the nose, yeah, that's completely valid. Deck them in the nose. What are they going to do about it? And when they're like, oh god, you punched me in my nose, I'm bleeding, you punch them again. Then you grapple them, because you're probably a sword and knock them as well, to the ground and beat the shit out of them repeatedly. Like, yeah, you are literally just your game plan is to beat them up. Don't be nice, don't be kind, just beat the shit out of your enemy. There's no pussyfooting around here. Okay, we're going to be dueling. See, most of these are probably going to get like, I could probably cut the stance styles. I don't really need those. Do I really need... Oh god, okay. I'll cut the armor sets. I don't need the armors. I don't want people to encourage wearing armor. So let's see. We need to do... We'll call it the Sword Dancer. There's a beauty in the artistry of the blade. Many of the cultures of the Austrasan Empire have a unique relationship with blades and their use in non-combat activities. Even the Kosinites have an entire subculture of sword handling. The sword dancer is one such art. Learning, understanding, and most importantly, using them. In court, sword dancers are by all means artists. While they may use blades in most facets of life. They also apply their trades in various other circles. Singing, artwork, dancing, and even the occasional. What would be another good one? Let's see. Singing, artwork, dancing, writing, anything that can be an art will be art. In duels, sacred weapons require sacred use. Let's see. Sacred weapons require sacred arts. The sword dancer is nothing but sacred. Using a weapon in both hands. The sword dancer art is about demonstrating the magical effect of two blades entering one person. The Kobiets may add their rank to any attack with an offhand weapon. So pretty much they can mitigate some of the problems where it's like, yeah, they can dump a lot more points into doing like, oh, I want to do like a attack forward, or I want to do this, but it's more along the lines of like, I can spin around and actually deal some, actually any attack add their rank to any attack using their weapons, as long as they are in the mixed style with one in both hands. There we go. They pretty much need as many weapons as possible. That's kind of the thing they need. They're very scary in that regard. So we've got our weapon specific ones. Let's put these in here real fast just to make sure that they're in. So we have the teacher, the ward. Okay, so the sword dancer obviously is going to go in the bottom here. That's just kind of a given. And let me see, Lato 14. There's a beauty in the artistry of the blade, many cultures, subculture, understanding. We do that. We'll shift 8. A little bit more detailed, but like, that's kind of the point. You're not really supposed to take some of these right off the bat. You're supposed to kind of like take one of the more reliable ones. But I'm going to give you all of them because, again, that's something I want you to have. Which means I can put you right here. Which means I need to make you not that. We need to do Control-Shift-8. Your entire goal in life is to literally close the distance and beat the ever-loving shit out of your enemy. Just beat them up. Especially when it comes like, ironically enough, this is pretty good against greatsword users who are being a little bit cocky. or even a little bit paranoid, because you can just close the distance on them, get within their range, and then punch them. Like, don't even, no hesitation, just violence. May come to the court. We come to the court of the Austrasian Emperor. So that brings me to... Let's see, we've got the war. We've got the war. Harry Potter. Potter. Let's see. So the teacher has to go right here. A teacher. Teacher, there's something. Teacher. For some reason, Harry Potter memes have come back. I don't know why. Every now and again they pop up, and it's just usually Dumbledore shouting at Harry, and it's like, ah. I'm like, did J.K. Rowling make a funny meme or something? Or did she just say something very racist? That usually does it. The unmitigated power of J.K. Rowling sometimes does allow people to say some incredibly gamer words. I love it. Actually, we'll put you down here just to make sure this looks a little bit nicer. And that will allow me to put an image right there, put an image right here. We've got filled up with quite a few of these, but let's do a few more. So defense arts. What defense arts are we really looking at here? Well, there's only 3 defense arts. So I don't think really defenses. Unless I go, okay, I know what we can do. Wallflower. The quiet ones are often the most dangerous, but they never factor in that the quiet ones are often the ones targeted by the louder. Quiet ones are often the most dangerous, but they never factor in that the quiet ones are targeted by the louder. The wallflower art. The wallflower art is dedicated to those unfortunate girls who often find themselves outmatched and outnumbered. So in court, the wallflower art. Wallflowers are dedicated to being unseen and unheard. Their sneaky nature allows their quiet disposition allows them to be in places they shouldn't be and remain undetected by those willing. The unseen are often the best, often the most knowledgeable. In duels, the wallflower art keeps their blades steady and straight. Never, always ready to snap to the defense rather than go entirely on the offense. The Kobiet adds their wallflower art to their wallflower rank to their passive defense. This could be a little bit powerful, but it's kind of like the idea that you have to have passive defense. So you have to be in short style. You have to be in short style, or you have to be in mixed style. It's kind of like along the idea of being like, yeah, this is really useful. However, if people know you're going to have like a shit ton of passive defense, they're probably just going to do everything to mitigate it, or they're going to do things to fuck with you. If you honestly want to screw with someone who is using wallflower pretty extensively, it's to call them out and start having them burn it. Solid is saying crazy shit again? Oh, Jesus. Come on, you little fucking fly. Where are you? Come on. Where the fuck are you? Ready to meet God? That's what I thought, you little fucker. Because what happens is that these little flies will fly like into my face, or they'll fly at my glasses. That's the most annoying thing in the world. I hate every second of it. Okay, I'm scared now. Okay, for context, Solid is a member of my Discord. Very nice guy, a little bit odd, but welcome to the crew. And it's in a possible future where we can't overcome the uncanny valley, people will start making robots that look like security breach animatronics. Instead of Data on Star Trek Enterprise, we'd have got a robotic cat girl. I understand what he's trying to say here. Pretty much is just being like, the uncanny valley is something so difficult that we'd probably just go way more extreme just to overcome it more than anything. I don't think the fucking security breach animatronics would be accurate. But for those who don't know what the uncanny valley is, because it's not like, I think a lot of people, you know exactly what it is, but you may have never heard of the term. The uncanny valley is something that looks vaguely human, but isn't. Something that just doesn't quite look right. And we're just mildly off-put by it. There's something about it that it's just like a whole lot of no. Like something is just not quite right about it. And this is the usual, here we go. This is the usual thing I see. It's pretty much the idea that like the more like, how do we want to word this? The more human something becomes, you know, we fall off. We fall off pretty deep in just a pure revulsion. We don't like something that looks kind of human, but not human enough. And there comes this point where it's like, someone described it being like a teddy bear. We like teddy bears. Maybe it's something that looks like, you know, or like, it would be like a stuffed bear. But then you have a teddy bear, kind of like right up, like right here. And then up here, you'd have a teddy bear with two, like, kind of like Winnie the Pooh, he's wearing clothes. Like, we really like that. That's kind of cute. However, if the bear suddenly had human eyes and looked fairly human, it immediately falls down here. Actually, is this it? No, like, we're freaked out by it just because it's just not quite right. And mind you, if we go up here, that's just a human being. We're fine again. It doesn't matter. We're fine. Like, we kind of hit that. You're human enough to justify it. And yeah, it's kind of like even things like that. Get around the uncanny valley, how do you do it? You change proportions. You make it look more inhuman to justify it not looking quite right. Like, the uncanny valley effect is actually a very fascinating one. Now, mind you, FNAF ones, that the entire point. Can't believe I have to bring up fucking. I can't believe I have to bring this up. I'm gonna hit images. I'm gonna get like fucking porn here, aren't I? But like, the entire idea behind the animatronics here is that they're supposed to look very approachable, but the problem is they look too approachable, and when they do scary shit, they're supposed to be kind of scary. Hence why, people like Roxy here, for example, you look at it, you're like, that's not quite right, and like something is off-putting about it. Like, I'm a little bit scared of this. It's not like, I shouldn't be afraid of it. It looks approachable, but it clearly isn't. Like, I would say out of all of the security breach ones, like, they did a really good job with Freddy here. Because he does look very approachable and very like, yes, this is like an animatronic you could see, and you could see a little kid running up to you being like, I like Freddy Fazbear, and then Scott Coffin shows up and breaks my kneecaps for saying that. It's something approachable. That's the entire point. But it's also like, the more fucked up he gets, like the more that uncanny valley is hit. Yeah, I'm actually. Good job, Google, by not, immediately giving it like hardcore fucking FNAF pornography. I'm actually amazed I'm not seeing any here. I am utterly astounded. Fuck, no, what? No, don't click on anything there. Like, I'm astounded. Good job, Google. You've done it. You didn't give me FNAF pornography. Which you never, like, you want to doubt, like, that's not a real thing, but yet you kind of know it totally is. How do we want to do this? So I wanted to add one for wound. Like, if you're wounded, you get like a surge of adrenaline. I could do the opium style. Yeah, welcome. Here's my ancient fighting art, the opium style. Opiates. Notably morphine is the quintessential medical phenomenon to numb the pain on the front in the court of the Austrasian Empire. Opium itself has seen an increased use among the nobility. Smoking it numbs the pain, and opens the mind, even if its addictive properties makes it dangerous to those around them. In court, the opium art is for those who experience pain, trauma, and emotional injury. Numbing the outside world is something that comes second nature. for those who have been burnt more than once, allowing them to simply ignore others around them, or appear far, far away. In duels, this opium numbs the pain. Pain in a few ways. In a duel, when bleeding profusely, and the sense of death comes to mind. Often the only thing keeping Kobiet alive is their raw determination and ability to numb their own mind. The opium art may actually the Kobiet may use her rank to add dice to add to her adrenaline pool. Let's see, her adrenaline pool if she has suffered a serious injury. Pretty much, if you've gotten like an actual serious injury, it's pretty much kicked in. You know, the opium has kind of like kicked into your body. You're kind of numbing that pain that you would normally lose, because that's kind of the big thing. The opium style is not about getting more, it's about mitigating loss more than anything. Instead of losing 3 dice, you've lost only 2 or 1 or even none, where you're allowed to be like, yeah, I'm injured, but I'm not feeling it. I'm going to be okay. I'm literally going to cope with the fact that I am bleeding to death. Please send help. No FNAF porn in the fucking server. No FNAF porn. I don't think this needs to be a rule. This doesn't need to be a rule stated. No FNAF porn in the general server. No. Don't put it in general chat. Send it to each other in DMs. Not in the fucking server. This shouldn't be something exciting. This shouldn't be something weird. Don't add it. God, why are you the way that you are? Why are you all the way that you are, you degenerates? God. Am I gonna have to put a new rule in there saying no FNAF porn? Let's see, okay, opium wallflower, personality traits, I could probably add... I should add one for like positive relationships and one for negative relationships. But what I'm instead going to put in... No, I don't think so. I don't need to add that. That's a little bit too specific and I don't want it to be like overpoweringly so. So, let's put in the wallflower. Let's see. But opium. Yeah, you want to min-max your opium style so you can just take more injuries? Yeah, damn straight. I play Pojedynek Kobiet, Sukience. It's great. Opium. Opium. Let's see, Sword Dancer, Teacher, Wallflower Ward, put some light art in there. I think that kind of summarizes most things here. Got a good mix of things. Now we get to add in some more of the ethnic ties. Oh boy, ethnic ties, yeah! So, the mayor I want to be a little bit more... Okay, let's actually do a little bit of... So, the Austrazen, so they get +1 composure, +1 calm, and they are allowed to use Austrazen sabers very well. The Saxor gets +1 bravado. Carlanda get +2 bravado, but -1 composure. So pretty much you're going to get a +1. That's kind of the idea. The Pen Uruk get +1 wits. Sword Uruk get +1 bravado. Bravado is very useful if you haven't noticed. White Cossins get +2 bravado, -1 composure. Like so. And the Black Cossins get +1 composure. Beltics, the Beltic people get +2 composure, -1 bravado. And the Bulin people, ballin' but at what cost, get +1 bravado, +1 composure, -1 wit. Okay, so we've got a decent amount. So the Mayor, we want to give them, we'll give them +1 bravado. Actually, what we can do is we can give them +1 that, +1 wit, -1 bravado. Latians, we can give them +2 bravado, -1 wit. The joke being that they're Italians, therefore everyone thinks they're kind of dumb because you're not quite as good as Austrians. The Ruthenians, we're going to give them +1 wit. Actually, no, we can give them +1 wit. We'll give them we'll give them +2 composure. +2 composure, -1 bravado. They're a little bit quieter. That's kind of the idea with them. The Romani, they're going to get +1 bravado, +1 wit. +1 wit, but they get -1 composure. And the Badwai, they're going to get +1 composure, +1. Actually, no, they're going to get +1 bravado, +1 wit. Actually, no, they're going to get +1. Actually, do we have +2 bravado? Actually, if we really want to do something weird, +2 composure, -1 wit. There we go. That's a good mix. There we are. Fucking blah. Ballin', but at what cost? Let's see. So, okay. What we need to do is the Mayor. The Austrazen Imperial. The Imperial Nation would be nothing without the Mayor. Without the Mayor forming a significant significant part of the population in the East. The Mayor are traditionally seen. The Mayor have repeatedly through the years both been a fundamental part part of the imperial authority, but also a constant need to placate them as well. Any war's been They are intelligent, composed, and quiet at the worst times. I should say, I constantly need to placate them as well. Not many are noble in nature. Actually, no, are noble in rank, but many are noble in nature. Often serving an Austrasian aristocrat. Let's see, often serving the Austrasian aristocrat as their personal second. Kind of the idea that, like, there aren't actually that many Mayor nobility. It's mostly Austrasian. The issue being that the Mayor are also the ones that, you know, cause the most issues. Daughters of the Wind will do +1 composure. We'll do +1 composure, +1 wits, and -1 bravado. Bravada. Oh, read what you read now. Wrote squats back and they're boring as shit. Buzz expecting you. Oh, jeez. Gorbino Quest players. Not even. I literally gave him the title of Gorbino Quest player, so you fuckers wouldn't do this. Let's see. Yeah, no, squats. A little bit of a side tangent. The squats thing is very fascinating. Here's the thing with the squats, because the thing is, oh wow, look everybody, squats 40K. Look at squats are back. Look everybody, squats are back. No, I don't think you guys quite fucking realize. These guys, the Leagues of Votan or whatever, like, these were to sell models, and this is probably the smartest fucking decision that Games Workshop could do. And there's a very good reason for that. Now, take a look at this model. Take a look at this model. This model. This model. Now, you've got the basic Space Marines and you've got the basic squats down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up... These are Tyranid Warriors, for example. Now, do you see an issue here? Do you perhaps see an issue? Yeah, pretty much the Votan, the squats. They're just going to be called squats now. The squats' big thing is that I think they were specifically pumped out in an effort not to really be like, oh wow, look how fascinating and interesting. Oh wow. Oh wow. No, this was, people are not buying as many Space Marines. They want something new, but they don't want to buy anything else. They want Space Marines, but they want to be told they aren't Space Marines. And they did it with the Sisters of Battle thing about what, a year ago? About a year or two ago. Did the same thing with the Sisters of Battle. And it sold amazing. This is literally a tactical decision to sell you the same shit over and over and over again with the maximum amount of return. Games Workshop isn't stupid. You gotta always remember that. Games Workshop is not dumb. They are very smart. Games Workshop is incredibly intelligent. But the problem is, they are business smart. They know exactly that they're going to look at the numbers and they're going to say, well, trend-wise, you don't want anything new. you want this, this, and this. And they're right in some aspects, but it's also like, you might have a lot of people saying, we want new models for these other factions. We want new rules, we want new things for them. And then you'd have the people in kind of the business room, the kind of the conference room saying, well, if we look at the numbers here, 60% of people bought Space Marines last year, 20% of people bought Orcs, 10% bought, Eldar. Who are they going to focus on? They're going to be like, we need to build more Space Marine stuff, because Space Marines sell. So that's why you kind of end up with things like, that's why like the odd thing with like, oh, Primaris Marines are so much better, or Primaris Marines. Primaris Marines were not put in for like, oh my god, look at the new lore. No, it was, we want to sell you Space Marines again. But you have to collect all the new Space Marines, because Space Marines sell. If like tomorrow, if tomorrow it came out that like everybody bought Eldar, every single person bought Eldar boxes, they bought Eldar things, they became more popular tournaments, they were just the big thing, Eldar. Games Workshop would most likely, within the next year, pump out an entire new set of Eldar figures. There would be new rules, there would be new options, there would be new things. You would like Eldar, because Eldar are now selling. Everything is always built around the money, or what a focus group is going to say, or what the trends say. Now, mind you, and you could say like, oh, well, it's the lore, and like the lore's never mattered in 40K. It's never mattered. And the people who are like, oh my god, the lore, you're destroying. Oh my god, you're destroying the proud lore of Warhammer 40,000. No, it's a fucking meme game. It's a fucking meme lore. Always has been meme lore, but you guys kept taking it too seriously. So, Daughters of the Wind. We need to do in court. The mayor are noted for a few things. Most notably, actually, are noted for a few things. Most notably, being the only ones able and willing to do the heavy lifting. Mayor people are dependable. People are dependable, good-natured, quiet, and more than willing to pick a fight with you if they think they can win. Let's see. Never holds them back. They gain their rank when trust anyone except Costonites among their fellow Costonites. Intimidation. Foreigners among their own people. Those of a lower social class dealing with non-Austrasians. Well, they gain their rank when interacting with their fellow mayor or Austrasians. They like the Austrasians, and they like their people. They don't like anybody else. In duels, mayor women are as fierce as their men. Able, more than willing to close the distance and execute the unwary. A mayor, they add their rank when actually they add their rank to an attack when adding 5 plus adrenaline to a single attack. So it's kind of along the idea of being like, they're just going to get a raw bonus by virtue of being who they are. It's like, oh, I'm dedicating 6 dice to this. I'm going to be able to add like 7 or 8 dice to this. Simple, 8 dice because I'm a Mayar woman and I've dedicated much time and effort to it. I'm just going to go in there and stab you to death. They may not be like the most like, haha, look at me, and they're supposed to be kind of a little bit more defensive, but it's like, oh, you've exposed yourself now. I'm going to just close the distance and stab you to death. Like, I'm not really, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, I'm just going to go and kill you now. Let's do the Latians. Latians. To the west and bordering Austraza. Austraza herself is the Latians. Historically, the two sides of the, let me see, would be the actually the Barca Mountains. Two sides of the Barca Mountains have feuded over the territory that now belongs to the Latian Republic. Now belong to the Latian Republic, but formerly were divided city-states. Currently, they are quote neutral in the war with the Saxors and Albions trying their best to influence their southern unconvinced Latian nation. And I should say it would be Leonese. And trying their best to influence the unconvinced Latian nation. They are friendly, intimate, and more than willing to stab you in the back. Everyone, let's see. We do 2 plus 2 bravado. Renaissance woman. Plus 2 bravado, -1 composure. Is that right? No, wits. And then in court, the Latians are notorious for keeping to themselves and insulting anyone who thinks they are better than them. However, it's a noted phenomenon that the Latians hate Latians more than anything. Is a noted phenomenon that when pressed, they are fierce in a conversation. They gain I shouldn't say they gain a bonus, they gain their rank when engaging in social conflict. They actually gain their rank when using bravado in a social conflict. Gain their rank. I literally. Let's see. I'm just a silly clown. Oh god, TSR is being stupid again. I respect the TSR hustle. I gotta respect those guys. They are fascinating ducks. Mostly because they keep trying really hard and it's just not going good. It ain't working. So, Latians are the founders of, actually are the, how do I want to word this? Latians are the founders of the modern dueling practices. Their methods being so refined and detailed that going up against a Latian sword master was considered a death sentence. Then guns were invented. While still the sword arts are still actively taught, but much less so. The Latians add their rank when using mixed style with a weapon in both hands. They're pretty much what they're designed to do is they want to use a Latian rapier and a Latian parrying knife. That is what they want to do, and if they combine everything correct, they're going to be rolling an insane amount of dice, but you know exactly what they're going to be doing. But the problem is, they're going to be doing really well at that. They will most likely kill you. Again, Latians are very dangerous if they really want to. Give me one thing. If you want a full explanation about the nature of what's going on between TSR and Wizards of the Coast, there's a very good explanation for it, and it's really stupid. Like, you gotta remember, it's fucking dumb. Let's add the Mayor and the Latians in here. See, the beautiful thing is that I've completely ignored all alphabetizing here, so I'm just going to copy-paste this in here. Mayor, the Latians, Daughters of the Wind. I've been waiting. The thing is, like, I have been actually waiting for the TSR thing to kind of, like, either finally die or, you know, kind of end up in a position where it's, like, easier to actually speak about. But I did a little bit of research into it when it first kind of popped off. And it's a fucking mess. It is a hilarious disaster area. And I am fascinated by it. Mostly because of just all of the characters involved. It's a goddamn anime. And... oh yeah, wait a second. But it's one of the bad anime. Let's just say that. It's one of those bad anime that don't make no goddamn sense. But it's very funny. And I love it for it. And that very funniness behind it is a mess, to be frank. A hilarious mess. Of just people, of problems, of generally dumb-dumbs. It's great. I don't know. Ruthenians, hailing from the deep west, deep western edge of the empire. The Ruthenian people have been in a unique position centuries, sandwiched between the Ruskian tiger and the Austrasian eagle. The Ruthenians have developed an insular culture focused insular culture on both sides of the border. While no Ruthenian state exists, most areas with them have a degree of autonomy. Autonomy, if only to dissuade their violent uprisings. Quiet when they need to be deadly provoked. What would be a good way of saying it? Let's see, true heirs of the edge. True heirs of the M negative N -1 bravado. Mind you, if you've never heard of Ruthenians before, or Ruthenians for that matter, they're the Ukrainians. Ruthenia. Ruthenians are actually kind of more based around, if I can go good location, kind of this location. As you can see, they're mostly kind of like in Ukraine mostly. When people say Ruthenians, they usually are talking more about Ukrainians now. But they were part of this very particular area of the world that they were kind of given their own thing, because Ukrainians at this time were lesser Russians, effectively. You gotta always kind of remember that. And they're a very, very interesting culture. You know, even some people even claim, like, oh, well, the Russian nobility are more Ruthenian. Like, there was like a Ruthenian dynasty at one point. I can't remember what it was. I'm not that good, and I don't want to find out. I don't get none. Trust me, I'll do the detox effectively. Can I seduce the other swordswomen? Hell yeah, gamers. Yeah, of course you can. That's a completely valid tactic. I don't want to fight, they say. I can, however. Wink. Why, hello there. If you really want to min-max, you seduce someone you fucking despise, and then when you duel them, you get a bonus to stabbing them, and they get a penalty to stabbing you. Then you just go in for a big killing blow, and you're like, haha, I've won. I'm an asshole. I'm a monster. What have I done? Because, haha. And quote, Ruthenian women are traditionally held in high. Actually, how do I want to word this? Ruthenians in court have a precarious position due to their kin fighting on behalf of the Ruskians. As such, many are held at arm's length for fear that they will betray the empire. Many, however, are more quiet than that. Simply finding hobbies or small hobbies to pass the time while writing occasional letters to Uncle Rostov currently. Uncle Rostov, and to uncles from back home. they gain their rank. They gain their rank with. How do I want to do this? Actually, simply finding hobbies to pass the time. And their steel heart makes it difficult to crack their exterior shell. They gain their rank when using composure in a social conflict. There we go, nice and easy, so don't think about it too hard. In duels, Ruthenian women. Women are direct and willing to get dirty. Actually, are direct and able. Their homeland is barren. Actually, their homeland is for the tough and is for the powerful, and the weak will die quickly. As such, Ruthenian. Let's do. Well, hell yeah, gamers. Let's see, Sambo, Slava Kill Wrestling. Called group boxing. Yeah, Ruthenian Ruthenian Stenka fighting. Stenka is a proud sport among even the most noble. They are able to add their rank. They're able to add their rank to all unarmed attacks. Pretty much what you want to do as a Ruthenian woman is that you want to get very close to somebody, you want to close the distance, and you want to break their nose. Or do you want to say, okay, I'm going to do an upward strike. Okay, so you want to attack the chest. Yes, as you punch them in the gut. And as they keel over, you bash them over the head. You want to be as calm and collected as possible, but also beat the shit out of them. That's kind of the point. Solid, why are you the way you are? Oh god, Solid. Like, here's the thing. I can say this on here because I'm a nice person. Solid confuses the shit out of me. Most of you guys confuse the shit out of me. Like, you guys are odd. I'm confused. Like, we're all odd ducks. Okay, let me see. So, Ruthenians, and that brings us to the Sinti-Delish. Or do we want to add the Romanians? That's the question. Do we want to add? Here, let's bring it up to poll. So, here. Do I add the Romani people to the Polish sword fighting game? To the noble Polish sword fighting game. Why add the Romani people? We'll see if we can't cultivate a few responses. Let's see. So that would bring us to the Badwai. +2 composure, -1 wits. +2 composure and -1 wits. Badawi. The Badawi people have traditionally been under the thumb of the sick man of Europa. Our proud allies, the Rum Sultanate. No Rum Sultanate. There has been the occasional murmuring that the Badawi have been armed and are launching an expedition and are launching a rebellion against the Rum in the south. But that must be insane. That must be insane. The Badawi are a kind and noble people, willing to serve their Uruk betters, even though the average Austrasian can't tell them apart. It's not racism, it's Europe. Let's see. In court. The Badawi are not from here. Often they are regulated to lower positions. They are located to lower positions in the Sultanate due to Uruk favoritism. However, over the years, they have secured a certain amount of authority. Notably, their nomadic cousins, allowing them often being drafted to join Uruk women as their personal guards. Let's see, often being drafted to join Uruk women as their personal guards or assistants. They gain their rank. They add their rank when dealing with Uruk women, when dealing with other Uruk or Badawi peoples. They are not really friendly with other people. They're not really supposed to be, though. They know it. In duels, Badawi are also, we're seeing a pretty universal agreement that we should add in the Romanis. Guess we're adding in the Romani people, everybody. The Badawi are as powerful. The Badawi are trained warriors. Even even their women actually are trained warriors. Those selected to accompany their the daughters of the Uruk castes. Let's see. Those who select to join the accompany the daughters of the Uruk castes are usually are some of the best trained in the art of combat and defending their lady's honor. They add their rank. Let's see, what would be a good thing for them, because the idea is that they're allowed to pretty much like use whatever weapon they want. Let's see, what kind of weapons are we working with? Let's see, what would be a good thing for actually, so they add their rank when using when using the Uruk scimitar. When using the Uruk scimitar in combat. They add their rank when using the Uruk scimitar in combat. But pretty much, they always are going to be using the same weapon and be like, oh, I'm not going to allow you to do that. They're going to be like, yeah, no, fuck you. So we added that. Welcome to the Badawi Spaniards, and that brings us to the Sinti Dresh. Welcome to the Sinti Dresh. The Romani people. Travelers, merchants, travelers, merchants, tinkers, and the occasional rogue is how one describes the Sinti Dresh. These nomadic peoples are a notable part of the Austrasian countryside, but they have spread all the way across Europa and beyond. Many view them as petty thieves and crooks. But the Austrasians know their true value. Cannon fodder for the war. Those who find themselves at court. Those who find themselves at court are there for a reason. Often in service to another, or those they've sworn a life debt to. Tailor rogues. Let me see. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. +1 bravado. +1 wits. And -1 composure. In court. Are regarded with a universal suspicion by most people due to their relatively low standing in society. But this stance also benefits them, as they are seen as one of the people more than anything. The Sinti Diresh may add their rank when consorting with less than noble people. Let's see, consorting with less than noble people and other ne'er-do-wells. Pretty much it's the idea that people think that you are this bastard. Nobody likes you because, like, oh my god, you are the problem. You are the villain. Nobody likes you. And you embrace that. You are a lot more comfortable with it because you understand who you are. They understand who you are. And people are going to be like, ah, ha, ha, I'm going to try to manipulate you because I know you're evil, so you're going to work with me and be like, you fucking idiot, you just told me your secret because you think I'm going to help you. Fuck you. Oh god. Okay, so that brings us to in duels. Anson Diresh are not a martial people like their Khassanite cousins who often stab whoever claims such. Instead, they focus more on trying to survive, even when they have sustained trying to survive, focusing on the little defenses to keep themselves alive. They may add their rank to their passive defense. Pretty much, they're in there to survive. They don't give a shit about anyone else. They're like, we're going in here I'm not gonna die here. And they're pretty good at not dying. That's kind of the big thing there. They can mix it with Wallflower to be pretty defensive. If you really want to spam defense, that's the way to do it. Let's see, what I can do is... Yeah, so Romani have been everyone hates the Romani people. However, they do have their purpose. Then he has Sandwich, the Ruskian Tiger developed, and simply they have the tiger because I like to torture my good friend Manly Salmon. I didn't really add anyone who adds wits to it, and that's for good reason, probably. But yeah, no, like, I think the Badawi are a little bit weak, because their duel thing is like very specific. But I want to be the goal there is the fact that no one really knows anything about them, and they are okay with that. They don't want to be known. They are in a position where they have the ability to be, nobody knows who the fuck I am, nor does anyone care. So I'm going to just roll through life kind of as a secretive person. You probably want to pick up something that lets you be a little bit more secretive, and because no one's really going to care. You're going to be dealing with the Uruk people. You aren't dealing with the Uruk people, you're kind of doing things wrong. And everyone... Alright, that should... Okay, that should be everybody. Everybody has been added. Let's just readjust it. Add more arts, add more ethnicities. We have added more things, we have added more people, we have added more stuff. That brings me to the arts, actually. I put it up to 14. I should do that with all of these. I did do for most of them. Enuduk, Sorduduk, Kosan, Kossanite, Beltic. The Bulin people didn't get Ballin, but at what cost? The Mayar. I'll have to find some good paintings of Italian women, effectively. Like, these are all, like, very racist depictions of people, and I really don't care. Okay, so slap that there. Cool, everyone should be good here. I think that is it. I think we did it, everybody. I think Pojedynek Kobiet, Sukience is done. Oh, God. It's done, everybody, and we no longer have to think about it. Hey, we did it! We did it! Yeah, we did it! Oh, God. So yeah, this was an odd one. I'm gonna say that right now. This was an odd duck. I think because everything was there, and just kind of going through it again, it was like, oh wow, this is not very good. And hopefully, I think all the little clarifications and all the little notes did make the game play a little bit better. I'm hoping everything should work relatively well. I think my only problem is I have no rules for multiple combatants, and if there ever does come up, I'm not dealing with it. I'm like, you do it, don't want to deal with it. Your problem, not mine. Though, that does bring up a question, you know, being like, what would you do for a, like, this was, I think, like, you can probably make this effects game. And the effects, for those who don't know or don't remember, are kind of where A Song of Swords came from. There were these threads on TG, which effectively were two people playing a game of, Riddle of Steel. They were doing the fighting system for it and kind of adapted to the situation. And because of that, they kind of, it was an interesting situation because it was very regulated in a way. It was kind of, everything kind of made perfect sense for it because it was just two people in a white room effectively beating the shit out of one another. There wasn't really anything more complex to it. Nor did there need to be anything too complex to it. That's the big thing. Which, I think this is what this game does best, is kind of in a, and that's kind of like what I wanted to build it around, arguably. But yeah, we're done. Hello, phone. Phone, what do you want to tell me? You're gonna tell me something insightful, aren't you? No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Who the fuck are you? Fuck this shit, I'm out. Y'all cringe. Y'all fucking cringe. I want you to remember that. Shut up. Shut up. Alright. Oh, no, 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 no. No dolls. There we go. So, yeah. What's next on the list? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Well, because the main thing is that everything else is, we've currently hit a point where things are like roughly wrapped up. And I've set things up pretty consistently. Now, I have a few ideas of like where things are going to go. I've checked the voting results. Currently, like we're pretty solid across the board. I will probably announce the first batch, you could say, of votes coming coming tomorrow, most likely, during that stream. Won't be a very long stream tomorrow, mind you, but it will be a stream. Well, I'll do kind of a basic run-through of votes there. However, this is the big however, I will most likely not start anything until probably the 9th of May. That's going to be kind of the thing, because next week I'm moving into a new place. And it's going to take me a bit just to get everything moved over, just to clean up everything. It's just going to be a mess. I don't want to feel committed to anything in between there. So, yeah, bear that in mind, everybody. So, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Our sword fighting adventures. We're going to be replacing, poor Prince, Prince Charles of the Austrasian Empire here. We're going to be replacing him, or Duke Nopat of Stahlberg. We're going to be replacing him soon. With what? I don't know. We'll have to find out. And hopefully, keep tuned, everybody. Depending on the situation, I may do some streams next week, but they're going to be tester streams. Does my internet work? Do things work properly? Are things hooked up correctly? How do I sound? It's going to be things like that, because it's a new place, new acoustics, new everything. And the second you move into a new place like that, you kind of got to address things like that. So that's it. Again, there's probably going to be a stream tomorrow. Most 99% of the time, there's going to be a stream tomorrow on which we go over a press kit I actually received for a very interesting game. And trust me, we're going to be looking at everything else too. I'm also going to be going over some of the Old Gods of Appalachia stuff. Found something interesting there. I just want to share it with the class because I find it funny. But yeah, that's it. Godspeed, good luck. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow noon EST, as usual. We'll be doing a look through at a game or two. And maybe something else. I don't know. So, thank you all. Goodbye. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Yah yee!